with the register. Hopefully we're still going. And so candidates, we want to start.
Sure.
And I'm going to sit over here and monitor. And there's water under here and a hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer.
This is John Cobb, Lincoln County District 2.
Hello, everyone. Do we have any Lincoln County residents here? Some right over there, some over there. Okay. My name is John Cobb. I currently work as the administrator for the town of Wellston, and I'm running for Lincoln County District 2 Commission, which is the northwest part of Lincoln County, which borders Oklahoma County over here. And I just will go through my list of items that I want to address if elected as county commissioner. One, I want to work to raise revenues and build reserves through responsible budgeting and economic development, not increase taxes. If we, Oklahoma County over here is growing at a great pace, and we need to start thinking about that planning over in the Lincoln County area, investing in our infrastructure along the border. Two, I want to promote good stewardship of our land and actively pursue beautification and litter control projects through public and private partnerships. I want to work with, currently in my position as administrator, I work with Keep Oklahoma Beautiful, Department of Environmental Quality, Oklahoma Water Resource Board to do different beautification and projects and stuff like that over in Wellston. I would like to expand that to the county level and start an area beautification coalition or project. We have a lot of roadside dumps, unfortunately, right on the other side of the county line on our dirt roads. That brings property values down. And also, if you just drive Route 66, which is a beautiful road, the Mother Road, it's littered with trash between here and Chandler. You drive, you see it everywhere. So I would like to focus and work with our partners at the state level to do some beautification projects. Three, I want to target infrastructure investment in areas experiencing increased traffic and growth, resulting in revenue generation through private development and increased property values. If we work to increase the property values, the ad valorem will return and again raise revenues that way. Four is the creation of a comprehensive community plan that will assist in the preparation and budgeting for future growth. A plan guiding development so that we retain our rural culture. One thing that we enjoy living out in this area is our rural culture. We have trees and it's beautiful. We have our land, but we need to plan for growth and development so that we can take advantage of that growth and still retain our culture, our rural roots. And five, I want to work to ensure that all the employees in the county have access to training and tools needed to effectively and efficiently fulfill their duties to the citizens of the county. If you invest in your employees, that investment's going to come back to you tenfold. And that's one area that we really need to work on. I'll take any questions if anybody has any. Well, turn it over to Steve.
Okay, can I ask, and Steve, you asked too, how come the gravel roads in Lincoln County are better than Logan County?
I'm not sure I'd agree. I don't have any gravel on my road, so it all gets washed off. Thank you all very much.
Stephen Furman.
Yes.
He's also District 2, Lincoln County.
I don't talk as fast. I'm from up north of Virginia. I'm a transplant to Oklahoma. I've lived out here for 15 years. I'm running for Lincoln County Commissioner because I think I can make a big difference. I'm a budget guy. I love money, and I love to count money and figure out how to apply it correctly. I know how to read budgets. I know how to read audits. The most important thing about a budget is the audit the next year. You can sit there and tell people you're going to spend all this money on the roads, or infrastructure, even in Logan County. But when it comes to the end of the year and the audit comes out, you actually see what has taken place and what's going on. Most people don't know about the audits. I served on city council in the city of War Acres for 6 years. I was reelected twice. In those 6 years on the City of War Acres Council, what I did was work with every person I could possibly work with to improve the city. We worked on a city center, which we managed to put together. It's all about the future. Lincoln County is about the future too. There's a lot of history up there, but it's time to make some Oh, I'm sorry. That's because I talk funny. Is that better? Okay. I'll scoot over here. How's that? The other thing that I bring to the table when I'm running for county commissioner is I don't have friends and neighbors and stuff that I've made promises to or made promises to me. I come here with an open slate. I have no agenda, so to speak. And so when someone comes and talks to me about something they need, they get an open ear. God gave us 2 eyes and 2 ears and only 1 mouth for a reason. And I firmly believe that I can fulfill some of that. Anyway, those 8 people that are here, and 4 of them are John's family. But either way, I appreciate your vote if I can get it. Thank you.
We'll get the sound. We'll be conscious of the folks in the back of the room with the microphone, and I hope you guys can hear us on Facebook Live. We got the thank you, Shane Jett, for having us orientate right. Anyway, everyone was on Facebook Live like that. That's always awesome. Mike Haynes, do you want to go next for Senate District 28? And as you come, this is an open seat. You're filling an unexpired term for 2 years, so you have to do this again in 2 years, the winner of this race. Okay.
Hi, my name is Mike Haynes. I want to thank you guys for putting on this forum.
Okay, here.
Thank you guys for coming out. And so I am pastor of Deer Creek Baptist Church, south of Stroud, north of Prague. I own a small oilfield services company in Prague, Oklahoma. I'm a businessman. I've started 3 small businesses from scratch. All 3 have been successful. I work in the technology field. I used to be an IBMer. I have 3 patents. I have a 4th one pending. That's something that makes me different in this race. I'm a problem solver. When I worked for IBM, my job was very specific. Whether I contracted to them or was employed by them, they would drop me in the worst possible projects, the projects that were losing money, projects that were not being fulfilled, where no one could get along. And my job was to listen, understand, create a clear path out, and then lead the project to success. And I was very good at that. We built an entire business in Tulsa doing exactly that. And we did that in the technology field. In 2006, I decided to become a pastor. I sold out my portion of that business to become a pastor. I got my master's of theology from Dallas Theological Seminary, and I've been a pastor at Deer Creek for 14 years. I've decided to run for Senate because I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated that we have issues in rural Oklahoma that are not being addressed. These issues linger not for days or weeks or years, but for decades. And because our legislature does not pick up these issues and solve them often in Oklahoma, because a decade ago we dropped the requirement or dropped the level of requirement necessary for initiative petitions, what Oklahomans are doing is they'll write a law and put it into effect, and then we'll vote on it, just like we're about to do on 802. These are, generally speaking, not good laws. I'm going to tell you, of all the state questions that have been passed in the last decade, most are very bad for our state. And all of them are a reaction to a legislature that has failed to do their job. Let's look at a couple. 780 and 781. This was the prison reform legislation that came through. This legislation had a good heart, had a good intent, and has saved money for Oklahoma. And we will pay money on top of money because of the effect of that law. That law was based on the idea in Texas. Texas, what they did was they said, if you get arrested for a lot of drugs, we're going to, instead of putting you in prison, we're going to give you a choice. You can go to a mental health facility if you're self-medicating. You can go to addiction counseling if you need it, or you can go to prison. But you're not going home. And in Oklahoma, they just go home. So they go home to their families. The impact on families in Lincoln County is significant. The impact of families across Oklahoma is significant. Now, this is a very specific issue, but I've got 5 minutes, so let's just talk about one thing. If you've ever heard of ACEs, Adverse Childhood Experiences, ACEs stack up in a kid's life and they actually change their brain. Their limbic system expands. That's your reactionary system. The prefrontal cortex shrinks. That's the part of the system that allows you to think through decisions. One of the folks I had in college that was teaching psychology said, your limbic system is your gas pedal, your prefrontal cortex is your brake. So these kids are growing up in very stressful, traumatic environments. The higher their ACE score, the larger their limbic system, the smaller their prefrontal cortex. They become hyper-reactive. We stick them in school, we diagnose them with ADHD, we give them a stimulant. It doesn't help. Then we decide they can't learn, so we stick them in special education, the most expensive of all educations. Now they've got a stigma attached to their name. Now all of a sudden they're growing up in special education. They're not expected to do as well as anybody else, so they're not pushed like anybody else. So now a kid is growing up in a world where his entire life is impacted by the fact that, and I'm just going to say it, we chose to do nothing to help their parents stop being addicts. Now Oklahoma is one of the highest scoring ACE states in the nation. Washington decided to do something about it. They saved $1.4 billion by just dealing with the problem. They cut teen suicides by 65%. In Oklahoma, the way we deal with addiction is one of two ways. We close our eyes and hope it goes away, or we send them to prison and hope they go away. Neither one works. This is one example of a problem that is plaguing rural Oklahoma, and our legislature is doing nothing about it. In fact, every time I see them talk about it, they're patting each other on the back, standing in front of a prison, talking about how much money they spent by sending everybody home. Now look, I'm not a grumpy guy, and I know I probably look grumpy because I'm nervous as a cat, but these are real problems that we are not dealing with. And so I got frustrated. I've got a list of those problems, and I decided I'm going to run. I'm not a back-off sort of guy. I don't want to go up there and raise a ruckus where we can't get anything done. But I do want to make sure that we focus on Senate District 28, on rural Oklahoma, and not back down until we get these problems solved. And so my name is Mike Haynes. I'm asking for your vote next Tuesday, 7 days away. There's no Democrat in the race, so this settles the whole thing. So I'm asking for your vote next Tuesday. Thank you.
So the election is next Wednesday? Oh, Tuesday. Okay. Thank you. Okay, Lincoln County. Anyone else from Lincoln County? Okay, let's move to the House. Can we move to the House District 96? Lewis Moore just texted me wondering how he could watch this live, so I sent him the link. And this race for the House District is to replace Lewis Moore, who was term limited and served this district for 12 years. And we have two candidates here. Well, I think Ken got here first. You want to start? You want to go first? We have Ken Warner, who is a well-known in the Republican Party, I believe, and was very early to throw his hat in the ring for this open seat. While he comes, I also want to thank Mitchell Talks for being here, Scott and Candace. Are you going to time? Do the air horn like at 4 minutes, if you can. Mitchell Talks has been a great partner, and he started his COVID updates on Facebook Live again. And so it's always valuable information. And I think this is Ken Warner, House District 96. Not 7.
No, it's not 7. She tries to make it 7. I don't know what's up with it.
Unfortunate.
Anyway, I'm Ken Warner, running for House District 96. I'm also vice chairman of the Oklahoma County Republican Party. So I've got a lot of experience from all that aspect. I've done a lot of work within the party, a lot of hard work. And one of my rewards for doing that is I was just elected to be able to go to the national convention somewhere in Florida, we hope, whenever that might happen. So that's what we're doing. Quick about me, background, retired AT&T executive, Constitution conservative. I'm pro-gun, pro-God, pro-Trump, pro-Republican, rock solid all the way through. Things that I've learned a lot of things, and one thing about Luther is that I got the chance, thanks to Jenny, thank you, Mayor. We should acknowledge her also for doing a great job, and thanks again, Don. I got a chance to go out to the Donkey Dairy. If you've never been to the Donkey Dairy, you're missing something. They have what they call mammoth donkeys out there, and they are huge. And they do donkey milk. And it's good for cancer patients, especially if they're going through chemo. They're very interesting people, a really fun trip to go out there, and I had a great time. But I learned some more things out there I didn't know. You people in Luther know it, but most people in eastern Oklahoma County do not know about human manure. Okay? How much human manure they're using in this eastern Oklahoma County under Luther has already voted it down that you cannot use it to fertilize with. And they're using wastewater, whatever waste they can find, they're dumping on the food for the year. And one nice thing about 96, it is a diverse district. So I have to worry about what's going on urban, but you need to know what's going on in the farmland, because this is a very important area out here to our state. With all the pecan trees, all the things that are going on out here, we certainly don't need large companies dumping their stuff. I had to be careful what I almost said. Out here to fertilize crops. I don't want that. I'm going to have to work on that side some more, not just for